I'd like to welcome now legal analyst Misty Marris. So, Misty, for the first time in court on Friday, the jury heard the 911 call made by Chad Daybell, where he reported the death of his former wife, Tammy Daybell. So, this is a complicated case, as you know. A reminder, Lori Vallow is charged with conspiracy in Tammy's death, but it's Chad Daybell who's charged with her murder. So, what do you think the prosecution is trying to reveal by playing this call in Vallow's trial?
Yeah, that is a great explanation of what's going on in this case because it is very complicated. Remember, Vallow is accused of being in a conspiracy to commit murder, not just of her two children, Tylee and JJ, but also of Tammy Daybell. So playing this tape is very important because, first of all, they have to show that there was a conspiracy, meaning that there was some kind of meeting of the minds. There was planning. There was the commission of the crime. There was the cover-up of the crime, and that Lori Vallow was involved in this. Keep in mind the circumstances surrounding the death of Tammy Daybell are very, very important. That's why we hear this 911 call. This is linking Tammy Daybell's death to Chad. Now, keep in mind, we can't look at this in a vacuum, right? We have to look at all the other evidence that came out. Some of that critical evidence is Lori Vallow Googling wedding dresses before Tammy Daybell dies. There's information about a potential shooting that happened to Tammy Daybell before this too. So it's showing premeditation, it's showing planning, and it's showing that Lori Vallow is a part of this planning with Chad Daybell, which is critical to a conspiracy charge.
Really important points, Misty. I appreciate you outlining those. And as you know, Tammy's sister took the stand on Friday, testifying she wondered why her former brother-in-law married Lori just weeks after Tammy's death. So how do you think that testimony specifically is going to be resonating with the jury?
The testimony of the family members who lost loved ones in this case, it has been so emotional and so overwhelming that it's absolutely hitting a nerve with the jury. And this is just yet another witness for the prosecution who has been personally affected by Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, according to the prosecution's case. So hearing from her sister, who is now revealing that Chad Daybell told lies about his relationship with Lori Vallow, that she didn't have children, that they were going to be empty nesters, that Lori Vallow had a lot of money. This is all information that came out during the testimony, that she was wondering, why the heck are you getting married 2 weeks after my sister died? You've been married for 30 years. Suspicion surrounding Tammy Daybell's death, that she allegedly had died of natural causes of a heart attack, but she was taking a fitness class that was high intensity interval training twice a week, or at least twice a week. So all of this just showing that Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow, by extension, in this conspiracy charge, have acted very, very suspicious with respect to the deaths that have occurred. And so this is all, again, to link Lori Vallow to the case, but also to show the jury that we have real victims who have lost loved ones here. And I think the prosecution has done a very good job of laying the foundation of these cult beliefs and then bringing in these fact witnesses who heard all of these lies contemporaneous with the alleged act. So the prosecution's doing a good job of putting this together. And I think this was a really pivotal week for the prosecution.
Certainly, they connected those dots there. You're right. And the jury learned the cause of death of Lori's 7-year-old son, JJ. A forensic pathologist testified that he died by asphyxiation, and fingerprints found with his remains were that of Lori's brother, Alex. This is yet another layer to this already complicated case. What was your take from that specifically?
I have to tell you that once we're hearing in the courtroom about the just horrific nature of the bodies, of the death of the two children, Tammy Daybell, but the horrific nature of the death of JJ and Tylee, the condition of the bodies, learning the way that they were killed, it's every single juror is feeling the sadness of the loss of these children. It's also going to be a part of the case. Emotion is not really supposed to drive the jury and what they determine. There'll be a jury instruction that will say, do not base your decision on emotion, base it on the evidence of the law. But the way that these bodies were found and the way that JJ was killed, according to the prosecutors, and the evidence that we've seen, that shows shows a degree of planning, that shows a degree of premeditation, and it shows cover-up as well. So those are all critical components of the underlying charges. And couple that horrific nature of this young child and how he was killed and how his body was discarded with the way that Lori Vallow was acting according to the evidence. Just at best case scenario, she doesn't know where her children are since September. She's lying to everybody about their whereabouts, and then their bodies are discovered months and months later. It is certainly very, very damaging for the defense when you put all of the pieces together.
It's horrifying.
And look, the jury is going to be moved by the emotion. It just is the way it is. It's terrible, especially the death of a child. And to think of a mother being the one who was involved, it's just very difficult. Difficult days in the courtroom.
Certainly. Misty Marris, we appreciate that. Thank you for weighing in tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.